New and up-and-coming director John Watts gets a hold of the Spider-Man franchise, this time for Sony and Marvel. You could say Spider-Man came home to Marvel.
Oh.
That's kind of why it's called that. Anyways, it stars Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei, Michael Keaton, Donald Glover, Tony Revolori, Hannibal Buress, Martin Starr.
Stop. Just stop.
All right, we'll stop now. That's Spider-Man Homecoming. I could have kept going.
I know.
Angry Rice was Betty Brant. Did you guys notice that?
I don't know who Betty Brant is.
Oh.
Angry Rice, if you remember, is Ryan Gosling's daughter in Nice Guys.
So they put jalapenos in rice. Angry.
Anyways, welcome to our review for Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm Brandon Kaiser.
Josh Justin.
I'm Brian Haas.
Long pause, I'm Kid Coleman Cole.
You son of a bitch. Anyways,
Alright, I'll just touch on the basics of that. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a good, exciting comic book movie. Even though we've been flooded with comic book movies, it did still grab my attention and I loved it. Go out and see it now.
Do it now! What are you waiting for?
now, do I go?
I'll go.
Okay, cool. What do you got?
I thought this movie was actually very well cast. I liked all the actors they chose in the parts.
Did you like Zendaya?
I don't even really know who that is.
I don't know what that is.
I mean, I know who the
We're
actor.
adults.
I know I was kind of surprised Flash Thompson was not white. Yeah, don't care though. I like the guy.
Really?
The guy played the part correctly. I did like Michael Keaton's whole character background and everything. I thought that was very interesting. I liked how they put damage control in it, and just in general. That's actually an actual staple from the comics. They're the ones who clean up all the superhero messes and everything like that. Good first movie for the Spider-Man stuff. I like the not montage, but
A good
quick
reboot?
way good reboot. They didn't have to say everything. We all know how Spider-Man began.
Yeah.
Brennan, see it now.
Do it now! What are you waiting for?
Well then, fuck it. See it now.
So I
no,
bet-
I mean,
guess I better tell you.
see it. I didn't see it again. Go now.
His soul's still dancing.
No, it's not Baby Driver. Anyways, I thought this was a good movie. I was entertained for the most part the whole time. I thought it was pretty well made. And Michael Keaton's awesome because he's awesome in everything. And I liked the interesting backstory they gave him. Tom Holland's a good Spider-Man, but I kind of felt by the end of the movie as though he was kind of doing the same shtick. I feel like there's an extra layer he needs to add or something.
Can you
like
elaborate?
that. No, because that's kind of a lot of my problem with this movie is I don't know. I have a lot of questionable things in my head of what I didn't exactly like. I'm not sure. It's weird. I never cared that much about him. Like I never felt like he was in danger. I never felt like worried. I never felt like I knew a lot about him. I always wow, was I asking for an origin story?
That's not really what I wanted. I mean, they kind of threw some things out there that kind of like the ferry split in half. He's got to hold it together, but they kind of ruined that in the trailer.
I think I also found myself liking the people barely in the movie more than the movie.
All the teachers are great.
Yes. Hannibal Buress, Martin Starr, even Donald Glover, every scene where those guys were in, which wasn't very many, was all funny and entertaining and awesome. But the thing is, I didn't love the high school stuff, which is the part I was looking forward to in this. And I think it's because, one, why was Flash Thompson on the academic decathlon team? And why was he not a big, giant jock guy? Like, don't agree with the choice. And I think that's a lot of my problem with this movie is I don't agree with a lot of the choices made. I think the Vulture's jacket was fucking badass, which is a weird thing to say, but it's true.
It's a bomber jacket.
But it was really cool. Look, there was some great costume design for that kind of stuff in the end, and that's I appreciated all that. Like I said, I think this was a well-made movie. However, there were some iffy things, and I just didn't quite connect with it as much as I wanted to. And I kind of felt like superhero fatigue coming in as I was watching it, and I didn't appreciate it because I wanted to really like this movie. And so I kind of wanted to go and see it now, but I think in my heart of hearts I realized that this was probably a stream it.
Wait for it.
Oh my god!
Swear.
Wow.
Something was off the whole time for me.
I think I'm gonna just go on and say I'm a more Spider-Man fan than most people here. I liked all the Andrew Garfield ones. Despite the
I think I liked Andrew Garfield better as Peter Parker.
I really liked him.
I did too.
He was really good.
I wanted to see where they were going with that. But I think this movie was great.
Yeah.
I liked Tom Holland. I liked all the high school stuff.
He was in the academic decathlon, which is supposed to be a super nerdy thing, right?
Yeah.
However, every major character from high school was in the academic decathlon, including Flash Thompson, which bugged me.
I think Flash Thompson was a big misstep. I think that...
I wanted Joe Manganiello again. Let's bring back Joe Manganiello.
Well, I'm always going to say yes to Joe Manganiello.
Don't even make him shave his beard.
Aren't you like 45?
Shut up, Peter, you're a nerd.
Yeah. Marissa Tomei toned down the sexiness. I was a little upset. She was wearing the mom jeans. As a whole, I still think this was really... I was entertained. I was enjoying the entire movie. I liked that it wasn't an origin story because I don't want another origin story. I would say see it now.
Do it! Do it! Do it now! What are you waiting for?
Well, don't I feel like Brian from last week? Thinking about the superhero movies of this year,
there's only
I felt
one,
like they were
two,
all better than this movie, and it kind of disappointed me.
I don't think so.
I feel like we've evolved past the typical superhero movie, and this was more of the typical superhero movie. I wanted this to be
honest with you. I enjoyed both Amazing Spider-Man movies more than I enjoyed this one.
I feel like the writing was lacking in this movie also. I think that most of the jokes were obvious and easy. The sound mixing was not very good in this, and that's a weird thing to say. I never noticed sound mixing.
Unless it's Interstellar, which
unless
still
it's bad.
saying
There's a scene where Tony Stark is talking to Spider-Man, so there's no spoilers. We know that happens in the movie. And you can totally tell Tony on set, or Robert Downey Jr. on set talking, as opposed to ADR, Robert Downey Jr. weeks later talking. I could tell every time. I love Michael Giacchino's scores, and his intro to this movie is amazing when the Marvel Studios thing is coming up. However, I could barely hear the score at all in this movie. Like, it never was a feature in this movie at all, and I was like, I don't know if it was good, because I couldn't really hear it. I wouldn't say... I think I was just disappointed. It's also their fault for being like, this is like a John Hughes superhero movie, and I didn't get that. I didn't feel John Hughes, despite shoehorning in Ferris Bueller footage.
This wasn't terrible, though, right?
No, I still like the movie. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie.
I mean, it wasn't like...
But I'm just really disappointed. Let's go to that best movies of 2017 list that we keep adding to every time we see a movie.
I want it number 4.
Ooh. Okay.
7.
And I wanted 8, maybe 7.
I wanted 3. Add it to the list.
All right, let's add her. All right. So there we go. Spider-Man Homecoming is down the list. Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, comment below. Tell us where you would put Spider-Man Homecoming on your list. Tell us what you thought.
You should be keeping a list.
Well, am I the only one who wasn't that high in this movie? Because I feel like I am. I mean, other than you guys. I mean, out there, like review-wise. I
can understand it.
I feel like a real outsider this time. I know you guys are giving me shit for this. I also think what hurt this movie for me is it came out a week after Baby Driver. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us. Be sure to all that stuff we've already said. Till next time, find your own ways of resisting boredom.
Like making a list.
What's stupid?